Hello and welcome back to Good Morning Pattaya. I'm Nick Pendrell.
And I'm Dave Buckley from REM Magazine.
And today we have another special guest with us. Recently we were speaking to John Collingbourne of Collingbourne Auctioneers, who mentioned briefly that he was getting involved in property auctions for the first time. And today we have with us David Strachan, who is his partner, hopefully not in crime, hopefully there's no crimes involved, but he's definitely the partner. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Nick.
So, how long have you been auctioning property in connection with John?
Well, John, actually, I saw John do some property auctions back in December 2012 for Raymond Land.
Okay.
No, that's right, yeah.
And that was really the impetus for us having a discussion and moving forward from there.
Right, so that was a big success when he did
Yes,
that.
he did.
I don't think they were left with many properties, were they?
No, I think out of about 23, they sold 17.
Wow. That's a pretty good
And they're
return.
not cheap properties there, are they?
No, they weren't. And I know you talked about this time earlier on. I sat in the audience and it was 45 minutes.
Wow.
For 23 properties to
Good grief, that's some serious revenue in a very short amount of time. So what's your background then?
Well, for the last 21 years I've been an inheritance tax planner back in the UK.
Oh, right.
So always used to dealing with facts and figures and probably more complex type planning methods for customers. Decided to come over here to be with my younger brother.
Right.
Mad fool.
So came across and went into business with John with regards to the property side of things. So my last year's been a very steep learning curve, be it websites, property listings, different types of customers and different nationalities. So it's been an experience.
Great. So when was your first ever property auction, your property one?
We did our first one back in June in the Holiday Inn.
Right.
And it started off as a pure developers auction. So it was a mix to spring us onto the market.
Right.
And we had about 56 properties up for auction at the first one.
Has it evolved now more towards individual properties?
Yeah, well, we've adapted and changed, and we try and listen to our customers. And the thing about a property auction is it's totally transparent. Sure. Everyone can see what's happening, what properties sell for. If they don't sell, everybody knows where they stand. So the buyer and the seller, and it's really just about finding people who want to sell and tying them up with people who want to buy at the right price.
Makes sense.
Is there much of an opportunity to view any of the houses, or is it mainly off the website that people get to know about them?
Well, we have an auction part specific on our website, because not only do we do auctions, we do normal sales as well. The auction part, we just ask that people do a simple registration process. They can view all the information, and there's an accurate map showing where the property is, which in itself is fairly unusual for Pattaya. And then quite happy for them to give me a call. I'll take them around, show them every property. So
okay, so it is possible.
They can do everything they would do a normal purchase.
Yeah.
They can, if they wish, bid before the auction. It's up to the client. It's up to the client to decide if he wants to accept an offer before.
Yeah.
So what kind of properties can we see at some of your auctions? What's the sort of maximum and minimum that you?
Well, our last auction there, we had townhouses starting from about 1.6 million.
It's a good price.
And we've got properties, or we've had properties in there up to 50 million.
Right.
So a big range of properties.
Yeah.
And are they all in the Pattaya area?
No, we get a lot of contacts from outside Pattaya. So our last auction there, we had 2 properties in from Hua Hin.
Oh,
okay. Oh, really? That's you don't offer to take them round there, then?
No, but we would arrange for somebody to show them around the property.
Sure. Right. What type of buyers are you finding who are attending your shows?
So far, it's been mainly the expat market. So the local people who know the area, they know the properties, and they're either looking to move out of town or into town.
Right.
And it's just a different type of people.
They're end users, though. Yeah, they're not property speculators as such.
Well,
or is that what you expect them to be?
This is where we're willing to adapt. We have some clients. Our auctions previously used to be every quarter, and that time scale for some people wasn't convenient.
Right.
So we've adapted and changed it to a monthly basis. But on the quarterly auctions, we had some people who desperately wanted to sell studios, as it were. And part of our registration process is you give us your name and your email address. So we did an email auction.
Okay.
So we just emailed our database of customers, said, here's properties that are available if you want to send a bid by email. And they were actually sold to a local investor.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I won't even try and speculate about who that might be.
We can guess. So is everything finished, or do you get some off-plan? Because I know quite often with off-plan property, it's 50% upon completion, and I can imagine a lot of people have been a bit optimistic about getting their final payments. Do you ever get into that situation?
With the auction properties, for off-plan to be put into the auction, it must be within 6 months of completion.
Right, okay.
So it's about taking away the risk.
Yeah. So it will be out of the ground and on its way. It won't be footings only, sort of thing.
We had one before where it was meant to be finished within 6 months. It was clear that wasn't going to happen, so we didn't put the property in the auction.
Yeah. Okay.
So take me through the process. If I had some property that I wanted to sell with you, what would I do?
You can either send us an email or telephone myself. All the details are on the website. I come round, have a discussion, explain the process to you.
Right.
Take your photographs, list your property, then you approve the listing itself, and then you set the reserve price.
Right.
And that's the part that's confidential. It's the only thing we don't put on the website.
You give some sort of guide though, don't you?
Yeah, we always give a guide as to where we expect it should fit into the market. But sometimes the customer's reserve is below that price, or it's towards the higher end, because we can't dictate what the reserve is.
Would you refuse if some client had totally unrealistic expectations about what a property was worth? What'd you do?
Well, it's part of the process. Our selling costs are less than the traditional selling methods.
Sure.
So it helps save money. And what we encourage the clients to do is say, look, we're saving you money, so let's be realistic on your price and save the end buyer some money as well.
Right. Which is more popular, condos or villas, from what you've been through?
From our point of view, up until now, it has been the villas, because of the market that we're specifically dealing in. Although we're slowly seeing a change as we, as a company, now develop into dealing with the off-plan market.
Right.
Do you attract many Thai buyers?
No, I've got quite a few Thai sellers, especially in the land side of the business that we do.
Yeah. Oh, you do land as well?
We do everything,
Yeah.
So,
is it like a sort of an estate agency, but with the auctions attached, or is it auctions but you sell some?
Started off as auctions without estate agency. It's now evolved into estate agency with auctions as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's clear.
So roughly, if I come to one of your monthly auctions, how many properties could I expect to see on average?
We're not looking to have a high number. Units on a monthly basis, probably between 5 and 10 properties a month.
Still a fair selection.
Okay.
Yeah. And has there been any real bargains that have been sold? Do you get clients who are just moving out and almost accept anything just to get their money back?
I have properties that were previously 90 million.
90? Wow.
And they've had reserves on them about 37.
Good grief.
Really?
That's- Someone's going to get
So
a
don't
bargain
you just
there.
ring up friends then and say, hey, listen, you won't believe this. You know,
You might have friends with 37 million in their pocket. I don't.
friends with 37 million.
No, it's
I wish.
it's all about transparency. So it's there. As I say, we can talk about the reserves on this property because it's past the auction.
Right.
But up until then, people could see what it's been listed for elsewhere.
Sure. So what does 90 million knock down to 37 million get you in Pattaya these days?
A sizable property with many bedrooms in a prime location.
How diplomatic. He'll tell us where afterwards, don't worry.
No, so that sounds great, and someone got themselves a nice little discount on that side. So what about in the month do the auctions take place? Is there a set date each month?
The last Saturday of every month.
Last Saturday of each month.
Just at the auction rooms in Soichaya Creek 2.
Right.
It starts about 6, yeah?
No, 4:30.
Oh, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
John has his 600 lots that he sells. He then has his customary glass of wine and then comes back on.
I was going to say, is he not completely hoarse by the time he gets to 4 o'clock?
That's part of my job, is just to make sure that the fourth.
Make sure he doesn't miss any bids because, yes, too many slips of the court.
Absolutely.
Understand that. Do you find that the buyers do a lot of research before they actually sort of place bids?
It's very, very strange. When we first started doing the auctions, people were going round to the properties using the map and looking through the gaps in the fence. And then come at the auction and not bidding, and then saying after the auction, can I go and have a look at it?
Oh,
and I need to tell you that's the wrong way to do it.
Yes. It's a bit the wrong way around, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know if they think there's a catch, but because it's an auction, it's totally transparent. If they like the property, they can bid on it. If there's no one else bidding on it, then they can come afterwards and we will tell them what the reserve is.
Right.
After the auction.
Okay. And they can still bid? Not
Well,
bid, but
they can
still
speak
make
directly.
an offer.
They can speak directly to the owner where we are.
Do you have all the owners turn up on?
The majority of the owners, apart from the ones in Hua Hin, outlying areas, they don't always come, but most of the owners do turn up.
Yeah. And cringe when the price doesn't seem to be going as well as they'd like.
It's no doubt it's a buyer's market just now, but at the end of the day, it's down to who turns up on the day and who's after that property. There's no guarantee that everything will sell, but there's no cost to put your property in, there's no listing fee or anything like that. So there's nothing lost. At the end of the day, they've had advertising for their property and just got the message out there.
Do you ask people for some sort of deposit almost to bid in the auction as a sort of a show of good faith or whatever?
At our previous ones, we took a 10,000 baht deposit when customers came in, and that was refunded to them after the auction. That was only taken so that if they made a bid, that formed part of their offer, and that was retained. Okay.
Right. So if they made a bid and decided against it later,
the 10,000 was kept
10,000.
because there might have been somebody else who was bidding who was unsuccessful.
Somebody, absolutely. Yeah, but you're not doing that now.
Well,
or are you?
This is our first one's just happened there, so it's a work in progress with regards to how best we manage that process. For successful bidders, what we will probably do is take a deposit on the day of similar amount.
So you don't march them down to the ATM and say,
no, John's got a card machine. we don't need to go near the ATM, but we can take a small deposit just as a show of good faith.
Good faith, yeah.
And they then have a further week to pay 10%, and then a full 30 days to do any due diligence on the property. And we would always recommend that they involve their solicitor or lawyer to check out the company title, the tax situation, and all the titles of the property.
Sounds good. You said that you have property from outside Pattaya on your books. What about buyers? Are they all based in Pattaya, or do you have some?
That's because I only get their name, their email address.
Right.
I can't tell where they're from. So,
okay.
I mean, I've got many people. We advertise not just in Pattaya, but we advertise in Bangkok, We advertise in the French papers here. We've advertised in the Russian newspapers here. And we also advertise back in the UK in the Daily Mail and the Sunday Mail.
Not in the Chinese magazines.
I was actually speaking to someone about the Chinese magazines because I think it's an up-and-coming market.
Good man.
It definitely is.
You were speaking to me, weren't you?
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this episode. Thank you very much, David, for coming in and telling us all about the property auction. That was all very interesting. So if you're looking for some cheap property, head down and find out more about Pattaya property auctions. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with you soon.
1 second out.
Getting better.
He's getting better.
As the Americans say, don't touch that dial. Bollocks, that's not the word.
We're using that.
As the Americans say, we'll be right back after these messages.